So maybe it would be okay if I would speak Czech, because I understand almost everything what you said. We have common languages, but we have the professional translator here, so it's important to say. Who of you speak or understand English?
Ovako, možda bi gospodinu bilo jednostavnije da priča češki zato što naš jezik je mnogo sličan i on nas mnogo razumije. A pita gospodin koliko od vas razumije engleski jezik.
Okay, and what is your background? Are you from football or from what business you are coming?
Iz koje profesije dolazite? Da li je u pitanju fudbal ili nešto drugo? Golf teren.
Golf teren, ja?
Jeste vi za fudbalski klub? Just one football club and three golf club and one landscaping.
Okay. I will introduce myself. My name is Kamil Pechenka, and I'm working as a professional advisor and researcher and sales supporter in the company AgroCS.
Ja ću da se predstavim. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Yeah.
My name is Kamil. Moje ime je Kamil, ja dolazim iz Češke kao predstavnik firme, kao istražitelj firme.
What I do is I'm professional greenkeeper. I'm maintaining golf course myself for 20 years. Last 20 years I'm working in the golf courses, but also I will tell you more about football because I'm involved in football places. And right now I'm also president of European Greenkeepers on the golf course.
Moj posao zadnjih 20 godina je da održavam golf terene i time se bavim. Sada ću vam pričati i o fudbalskim terenima i također sam predsjednik
European Greenkeepers, they maintain
Evropske organizacije za održavanje zelenila.
On the beginning, I will show you a short video. It will be in the Czech language about the work what AgroCS is doing. It's not only about producing the fertilizer. This is the end effect, but we are involved in everything in football, include renovation and building the football, not only fertilizing.
Sada ću vam pokazati kratki video o čime se uglavnom naša firma bavi. Mi ne samo da proizvodimo gnojiva, mi se bavimo popravkom, reparacijom i izgradnjom fudbalskih terena.
This is video from one of the most prestige tournaments we were involved in preparation, in a competition where Bayern München and Chelsea played in Prague and we were preparing the football pitch.
Ovo je video o fudbalskom terenu koji smo mi pripremali za jednu od većih utakmica kada su igrali Bayern München i Chelsea.
So AgroCS as a company, and I will tell you this later, started with substrate, not with the seed or fertilizer, but 30 years ago AgroCS started as a substrate company.
Firma AgroCS je prvo počela sa supstratima, znači ne sa gnojivima i sa sjemenima, nego sa supstratima.
So this was the main part of our business, was preparation of the substrate for football and golf and also for gardeners and producers.
To je bila naša glavna obaveza da pripremamo supstrate za fudbalske i golf terene.
So when we renovate the football, we also include the substrate.
I kada renoviramo fudbalske terene, također renoviramo i supstrate.
We are also producers of roll rasen, or roll grass. It's just local because we are sold out every year. We have 30 hectares and we sell out everything every year. We are limited with the space.
Također proizvodimo i valjanu travu, ali samo djelujemo lokalno zato što 30 hektara koji mi proizvedemo prodamo odmah.
We try to specialize on like a high value, high quality sort, also for football installations.
Mi se baziramo na visoku kvalitetu instalacija za fudbalske terene.
So this is basically the part which is related to your everyday job: grass, salt, substrate, fertilizer.
Ovo je znači dio koji je uglavnom vezan za vašu profesiju, za to ono čime se bavite, to je uglavnom trava, fudbalski golf tereni, supstrati i gnojiva.
In the presentation I will show you now the way how we when we do the maintenance, we do the jobs related to grass. We were looking for our own fertilizer, something which it's exactly for us, not buying and reselling, but producing something that we want.
Kada pravimo, odnosno sada ću vam pokazati kako mi u stvari pravimo travnjake i da koristimo naša vlastita, znači gnojiva, odnosno proizvodimo gnojiva koja nama odgovaraju.
So I will tell you about the product which we named the granulated fertilizers Phoenix. Maybe you heard about the name already, and I tell you what is in the Phoenix, and later I will tell you more about Garden Boom, which has a little different approach.
Sad ću vam objasniti o jednom produktu koji imamo koji se zove Phoenix, to je gnojivo, pa poslije ću da vam objasnim o Garden Boomu.
So I think it's not important for you to know too much about the company, but shortly saying we are based in we are quite old company based in Czech Republic, and we have distributors through Europe, also to Turkey, which is one of our biggest export markets also, and we try to fit also to the needs of different countries, not only selling what we have, but asking what you need.
Nije potrebno da znate baš mnogo o našoj firmi, ali da vam objasnimo, mi smo firma koja je mnogo godina, znači na tržištu, nalazimo se u Slovačkoj, radimo duže Evrope sa državama širom Evrope, radimo i sa Turskom i ne baziramo se samo znači da prodamo ono što mi proizvodimo, nego da se brinemo i za potrebe, uglavnom da mi se prilagođavamo tržištu drugih država.
We have 4 divisions. The main division is garden, where we are part of the garden division, but we also do in normal agriculture or other part of business.
Radimo na 4 segmenta, znači ne radimo samo za sorry, can you...
Yeah, we have a gardening, but also agriculture part.
Imaju također i agrokulture, a i baštenstvo.
If you see the map of Czech Republic, we are mostly north, which is like in the Czech Republic the companies are the northern part, but in Slovakia we are south, close to the Hungarian border.
Naše firme su stacionirane većinom na sjevernom dijelu Češke, a u Slovačkoj smo više na jugu, bliže Mađarskoj.
These are aerial photographs of our factories. We have 3 in Czech Republic and 1 in Slovakia here.
Ovo su slike naših firmi, imamo 3 u Češkoj republici i 1 u Slovačkoj.
We lately bought also a peat field in Belarus.
Kupili smo i polje za uzgoj u Bjelorusiji.
where we produce the highest professional substrate and peat-based substrates for Europe.
Gdje proizvodimo
Treseti substrat.
Kako?
Treseti substrat.
treseti substrat.
This is just about the size of the company and how many. We have 700 employees in the whole division, in the whole group.
U čitavoj firmi imamo 700 uposlenika.
And this is the biggest part what you see. I mean, for some reason it's not communicating right, but the biggest part is the gardening division and all the other are just secondary.
Najveći dio naše firme je u stvari to baštenstvo, a ostali su samo manji dijelovi.
As I showed you, we do important things also in football, what I showed you in video.
Kao što sam vam pokazao u videu, mi radimo velike dijelove po pitanju fudbalskih terena.
But also we do maintain and mow grass on golf courses. We take care of golf courses.
Također se brinemo, odnosno pravimo i održavamo golf terene.
I am responsible about the division where we maintain 6 major golf courses in Czech Republic.
Sada održavam 6 velikih golf terena u Češkoj Republici.
And we include a big preparation for big tournaments.
I pripremamo golf terene za velika takmičenja.
The whole agro-CS business is really wide. There is also a hobby part of the business, which I will show you just on this picture. I don't need to tell you about the hobby part, but we do also a lot in hobby users.
AgroCS je velika firma, tako da radimo i znači, sa hobby proizvodima, ali neću vam puno pričati o tome, jer više vas interesuju profesionalni proizvodi.
Some of the products are on the edge. I will tell you this later. They are like a semi-professional, and I will show you how.
Neki naši proizvodi su kao, neki naši hobby proizvodi su kao poluprofesionalni.
From the professional use, we are talking mainly about the Phoenix. Phoenix is a blended, mixed fertilizer used mostly for turf grass or grasses.
Pričat ćemo o Phoenixu. Phoenix se najviše koristi za velike travnjake.
The Phoenix products are represented here through your company, so this is then your part to say more about it. But I will tell you how and why we developed this type of fertilizer and how is it working.
Objasnit ću vam kako i zašto smo u stvari napravili ova gnojiva i kako one funkcionišu.
We have the basic line, balanced line and premium line, and I will tell more about this.
Imamo osnovnu, balans i premium liniju gnojiva.
But we also develop special fertilizers, and I will tell you also about them. We call it Phoenix Special.
Također smo razvili posebnu liniju u kojoj ću vam ja objasniti nešto i zove se Phoenix Special.
So let me explain you more about how we come to the product we have, how we invented Phoenix.
Da vam objasnim kako smo u stvari došli do Phoenixa, odnosno do izuma Phoenixa.
For us it's important that all the time the roots are the key part where the grass is taking the nutrients. The roots are the key for our success.
Za nas je najbitnije znači korijen trave, kako u stvari korijen se prima, odnosno razvija, i za nas je znači korijen ključ uspjeha.
If you know it maybe from your practice or maybe you heard about it, in the soil, in the ground, there is one really important part which is already there, and this is called clay minerals. Clay minerals. It's something which is there naturally in the soil.
Kao što znate, odnosno u podlozi, u travi gdje u stvari nastaje sav proces, nalazi se glineni mineral koji je vrlo bitan za razvoj trave.
This is a part of the soil which is holding the nutrients in the soil. It's not that we are feeding with the fertilizer the plant, but we are feeding the ground, the soil.
To je u stvari dio zemlje koji je dio podloge koji je jako bitan jer održava sve znači potrebne minerale za razvoj trave, tako da se mi ne baziramo samo da hranimo biljku kao biljku, nego i tu podlogu na kojoj biljka raste.
This is symbolically the clay mineral in the soil, and this plus, they are all the nutrients is holding on the clay mineral. And then later, the root of the plant is taking it from the clay mineral.
Ovo je simbolično predstavljena ta glinena podloga i minerali, odnosno nutrijenti koje ta glinena podloga zadržava za sebe, a ovo su korijeni koji se hrane iz podloge.
It looks like a difficult picture, but I will simplify it. The ability of soil to hold the nutrients it's different. If you have less clay mineral, you have less holding of the nutrients. If you have more clay, it's holding the nutrients for you longer and more.
Ovo izgleda kao jako komplikovana slika, ali jednostavno uglavnom što je više ima te glinene podloge, to se više sadrži nutrijenata, što manje, to je manje nutrijenata.
If you look, this is the capacity of the soil, how much it's holding the nutrients. This is sand. This is sandy soil. It has capacity 5. And more normal soil, clay soil, has capacity 25. It has a higher ability to hold the nutrients.
Na slici vidimo koji je kapacitet uglavnom neke podloge. Podloga pijeska zadržava samo, znači ima kao kapacitet 5, dok podloga gline ima kapacitet 25.
It means when you have a sand substrate, sand like on a football or a golf green, it has not high capacity to hold the nutrients. If you are normal on the soil like you have in the nature, it will hold more nutrients.
Pa prirodne podloge mogu zadržati više nutrijenata.
So it means when I put the fertilizer on the top of here and top of here, this will be locked here, available for the plant. If I put too much fertilizer here, it could be washed away to the ground, away from the plants.
Ako stavim gnojiva na glinenu podlogu, ona će više zadržati da bi biljka se mogla više hraniti. Ukoliko stavim na podlogu od pijeska, ono bi se moglo saprati i ne bi se zadržalo.
This is something I don't need to explain, but in every country you can give your sample, the soil sample, to your authority or to a laboratory, and they will find out what is in your ground, what is the capacity of the soil, and what are the nutrients is already locked in your soil. And I would recommend you to do it in the springtime now.
Možete da uzmete primjerak svoje zemlje i da odnesete u laboratoriju da vam kažu koji je sastav zemlje i koliki je kapacitet, znači, primanja tih nutrijenata u zemlji.
The laboratory all the time it tells you what is already inside of your soil and explains you if you should add or is it enough. So they will tell you you have missing these nutrients, please add it.
On će vam pokazati u stvari koji je sastav vaše zemlje, šta vam fali i šta trebate da dodate u svoju zemlju.
If you look on the nutrients, what you need for your grass, you can start with oxygen, hydrogen, carbon. These are in the air. Oxygen is in the air, hydrogen and oxygen are in the water, and carbon is also part of the nature. So you don't need to add this in the fertilizer.
Stvari koje ne trebate da dodate u svoja gnojiva, odnosno u svoju zemlju, su stvari koje već postoje u prirodi, to su kisik, hidrogen i karbon.
What you need to really consider to put in, it's nitrogen, phosphor, potash.
Stvari koje trebate da dodate su nitrogen, fosfor i potasijum.
Je to vaše, is it in your language? Nitrogen, phosphor, potassium?
Yeah.
Yes. So these are the most important nutrients, and I will tell you how they are in the fertilizer. But also you have a whole group of nutrients that also are important, and I will tell you more later.
I imate još čitavu, ovo su osnovni, ali imate još čitavu grupu nutrijenata koje vaša podloga zahtijeva.
What is important is for the nutrients availability for the plant is the location. If you put the granula on the top and you don't water it, it's sitting on the top. You say, I fertilize, but the plant cannot take it. So the location near to the root is important.
Za ishranu je za nutrijente, odnosno biljke su također bitna lokacija. Ako stavite na površinu sjeme neće primiti dovoljno gnojiva da bi se razvilo.
The forms of the nutrients, the way how they are available for the plant is important. Right now in this room there is 80% nitrogen in this air, but still the plant cannot take it because it's in bad form. you need to put the right form in the fertilizer to be available for the plant.
Također je bitan i oblik na koji biljka prima gnojivo, kao na primjer u ovoj prostoriji je mnogo ljudi koji udišu taj H2O, isto kao što biljki treba nutrijente dati u određenom obliku da bi mogla da ih prihvati.
And the last thing is water. You need to have a water solution in your soil. When your soil is dry, even there are nutrients in dry conditions, the plant cannot take it.
Također je bitno navodnjavanje vaše podloge.
So what you know from your bag, it's NPK, NPK, nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, kalium. Yeah, but it's like potassium in the form. So these numbers, the 3 letters, are important for you because they have all the time the same row: nitrogen, phosphor, potassium.
Na vašim vrećama uvijek vidite znači isti redoslijed i ono je to bitno za vas koja je količina kojih nutrijenata.
On the bag all the time it's written the combination of the nutrients what you need. And the 4th number for grass growers like us, it's magnesium. 4th most important element for us is magnesium, and you will find it in all elements, in all fertilizers we produce, there is a magnesium. And I will tell you later why.
4. najbitniji nutrijent je u stvari magnezijum koji mi koristimo za trave i poslije ću vam objasniti zašto.
So this is a check slide, but it's easy to understand. This bucket could be as full as is the lowest board here. So these are all elements needed for grass growth, include nutrients, include water, include all the elements. But in this element magnesium, and this is just example, it's missing in the soil. So you can add all the other elements, but the level of the water will stay the same. This is the weakest point of your environment.
Ovo je metaforički prikazana kanta, znači na kojoj imate sve potrebne nutrijente za travu, ali najniža je magnezijum i to je ono što fali u našim, odnosno što fali u podlogama za travnjake. Tako da travnjaci su onoliko dobri koliko ima magnezijuma.
So what does it mean is like you can do whatever you want, but if you don't find out where is your problem, you will not have better grass.
Šta vam ovo u stvari pokazuje da koliko god dodavali drugih nutrijenata, ako ne dodate ono što vam fali, trava će vam uvijek biti ista.
This is again something that we don't need to go into it. Nitrogen is the most growing element. It's really important for your grass, but it's also more the biggest vulnerable. You can lose nitrogen quite easily because it tends to evaporate in the air and it tends to leach in the ground with the water.
Nitrogen vam je jedan od najbitnijih nutrijenata za uzgoj trave, ali je i najosjetljiviji zato što lako isparava i lako ulazi dublje u tlo.
With the nitrogen, you know yourself, nitrogen means growth, means material, but it will never hold in the soil. It will all the time tend to be lost unless it's used in the plant.
Nitrogen je znači najbitniji i znači rast, ali nikad neće stajati znači stabilno u toj podlozi, uvijek ima tendenciju da nestaje.
Phosphor, it's one of the best and locked nutrients. When you fertilize with phosphorus, you don't lose so much if you don't put too big amounts, but normally it gets locked in the soil and the plants can take it in long time. So we don't need to be worried so much about phosphorus.
Fosfor ima najmanju stopu znači gubitka, on obično ostaje u podlozi u koju postavite, tako da biljke dugo mogu da se hrane od fosfora. Tako da nemate puno problema sa fosforom.
Phosphor is also not so important for grass growing, just for the beginning, for the root development, but phosphor in nature is mostly for flowering and fruits, which is not our case.
Fosfor nije toliko bitan za trave, on je više bitan za baštenstvo i za biljke i za cvijeće, tako da to nije naša tema danas.
So you need to have some amount of phosphor because you can end up like this. This is a golf green in a sand, and the violet color is deficiency of phosphor, but it's not really typical problem on the golf courses.
Ali vam ipak treba određena količina fosfora. Ovo je slika travnjaka koji je na pijesku i iz kojeg izbija taj utjecaj fosfora.
In natural soils, the phosphor is usually available easily, so you just add little bit every year.
U prirodi se može lako naći fosfor, tako da su potrebne samo manje količine.
With potassium, it's somehow in between, but for longevity, the potassium is also available for a long time. It's not evaporating in gas form in the air, so it stays in the ground for quite long.
Potasijum duže ostaje, znači ne isparava, duže ostaje u tlu, tako da biljka ga duže može konzumirati.
So when you see the problem and you know it from your practical part, the nitrogen is the one element which is really important for us, but we can lose it quite easily.
Iz praksi znate da je nitrogen jedan od bitnih elemenata i da ga jako lako možete izgubiti.
So all the time research and science is looking for the way how to slow down the loss of the nitrogen.
Nauka se uglavnom bazira da napravi način kako da se uspori gubljenje nitrogena.
So we are trying to extend the release, the availability of the nitrogen, and in our case it's up to 3 months.
Mi pokušavamo da produžimo, znači, utjecaj nitrogena, za sad smo došli do 3 mjeseca.
We are using two most popular and most advanced technologies how to do it. One of them is to close the granula of urea in some coating.
Mi smo došli do dva glavna načina. Jedan od njih je da se zatvori, znači, granula ureje. Da se zatvori u granulu ureje.
Urea je močovina.
Urea is the same urea.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So urea is really high concentrated nitrogen, really available in many fertilizers. When you lock urea in the coat of polymer and sulfur, it will stay longer.
Urea je jedan od jačih oblika nitrogena i kada se zatvori u polimer sulfura, on stoji duže aktivan.
The urea molecule has a polymer coat and over it's the sulfur coat on it.
Urea ima jedan
A polymer and then sulfur.
Ima jedan sloj polimera i jedan sloj sulfura.
What is happening when is water coming in? The urea is extending and it cracks. You can see it here. There are small cracks in the like a micro channels, and they are releasing the nitrogen for longer time.
Kada urea dođe u dodir sa vodom, nitrogen se širi i dolazi do malih pukotina gdje se nitrogen ispušta.
These granules are staying there for 2-3 months and slowly releasing the nitrogen. So you can even later come and find out the granula releasing the nitrogen.
Granule mogu do 2 do 3 mjeseca polako da ispuštaju nitrogen, tako da nakon 2-3 mjeseca možete primijetiti da još uvijek postoje te granule.
This technology, it's okay to be used on a football, also on golf course fairways, means like higher grass, but you will not use it on golf green because it's already too low grass, so you would see the granules. But on a football and any other landscaping, it's enough.
Na fudbalskim terenima i na nekoj višoj travi se može koristiti ova granula, dok na golf terenima ne može jer je trava već preniska i onda bi se granule vidjele.
On the end, the whole coating, it's diluted and also like a sulfur, it's one of the important nutrients, so it's like a sulfur coated, so it's available as a nutrient for the plant.
Na kraju, nakon, znači, ta 3 mjeseca koliko izdrži, ta ureja se, odnosno ta granula se razgodi, odnosno rastavi u elemente, tako da i sulfur pomaže razvoj trave.
We have most of the granules in 2 to 3 mm size, and in that we have 43% of nitrogen in the coated form. Većina
naših granula su veličine 2 do 3 mm, tako da sadrže 43% nitrogena.
The second possible way how to slow down the loss of nitrogen is to make urea in long chains, not as a simple molecule, but chain it together as like a long chain of complicated urea.
Drugi način da se zadrži nitrogen, da se produži životni vijek nitrogena je da se urea stavi u lance koji će duže se održavati.
It's called methylene urea. It's quite popular, and you can see it also on the bags. It's MU, the shortcut, and you can see that this is like something that when you apply it, it disappears completely, but the urea in chain, it's not leaching away. It stays there, and the microbes are working slowly on it.
Često možete vidjeti ovaj tip nitrogena na raznim vrećama. On kad se stavi na travnjak u potpunosti nestane, ali ne nestane u smislu da ode bespotrebno, nego se postepeno razlaže i otpušta nitrogen.
So this is the form that is used in a Phoenix balance, and it's quite popular there where you don't want to see any granula later. You just have a low cut, or in the Czech Republic is used on the football places, because some of the people, they are mowing the grass with collecting the grass, so they are afraid to collect the granulas, so they like to dilute everything.
Ove granule se većinom koriste na mjestima gdje se ne želi da se vidi uglavnom granula, ili u Češkoj na nekim fudbalskim terenima gdje se također prikuplja trava i ne žele da pokupe sa travom i te granule.
So in the line Phoenix balance there is a 40% of the nitrogen in this form.
U ovoj našoj liniji Phoenix balance se nalazi 40% nitrogena u ovoj formi.
So this is how the granula looks like. Even it's broken, doesn't matter because it has no coating. You just like to disappear or dilute it, and just the granula could be immediately dissolved. You don't see it.
Ovako izgleda granula nitrogena u ovoj vrsti Feniksa i nije bitno da li je slomljena ili je zgnječena, ona se jednostavno razgodi.
There are some samples there back, so you can see. I will show you this later in reality on the fertilizer.
Nazad imate primjerke, pa ću vam pokazati kako izgleda.
Important part is like how to apply it. It would be bad to apply it by hand, because this is really old-fashioned way. You need to have some tool to be nice, even nice applied.
Jako bitno je kako se koristi. Ne bi bilo lijepo da se koristi na stari način rukama, trebali bi neki alati koji bi ravnomjerno raspodijelili taj nitrogen.
On our customer in Turkey, he has a cheap labor there, so they are applying it by hand, but we train them now to use at least some tool that it's spreaded evenly.
Imamo klijente u Turskoj koji još uvijek stavljaju, znači ručno, ali ako ništa postićemo i da koriste neke od alata.
You know it from your applications. You should have really like at least like a carrier, like a walking machine, or sometimes mounted on a vehicle.
Znate iz svog iskustva da biste trebali minimalno da imate pokretni alat, ako ništa noseći ili na aparatu.
What is really important, I will explain the graph. Everywhere where you have a rotary spreader, some tool how to spread it, you need to be careful with the overlapping to find a way how even one pass and second pass when you go there and back are even together, so you have a nice coverage for the whole field.
I kada imate određene, znači, alate za nanošenje, treba uvijek da se pazi da bude ravnomjerno nanešeno i da se dijelovi ne preklapaju.
You can see like they are overlapping, like this is the way when he walk one way and the back, and they are slightly throwing the granulas in the last pass.
Vidi se ovdje 30% kada se prekriva da granule nemaju funkcije ako su previše.
You need to also train your stuff or yourself. When you go faster, you have lower dosage. So when I go slow, I have a nice coverage, but when I try to be fast, then I don't have the right amount.
Bitna je i brzina kojom nanosite, jer ako idete sporo, onda je previše, ako idete prebrzo, onda je premalo.
The same is with the speed of turning of the wheel. If you apply it by hand, if you are too fast, then you are not even and you are lowering your amount.
Isto i sa okretanjem alata za nanošenje. Ako prebrzo okrećete, onda imate premalo, ako presporo, onda imate previše nutrijenata.
This is the tool we are using. It's the metronome. For some people, they are walking, fertilizing to keep the same speed. This is metronome used in music playing. You keep the beats, and the right amount is around 100 to keep the person walking all the time the same. So you don't have people rushing too fast. They just get adjust that you have even application.
Ovo je metronom koji se koristi i u muzici, koji ima određen tempo, koji također može da pomogne da ljudi, radnici ravnomjerno hodaju, ravnomjerno nanose.
And what is really important, and I want to say something about it, it's important if your grass is mowed with the rotary or with the real mower. When you use the rotary and you collect, sometimes it's really good to have no granules there left, because then you are really not collecting the fertilizer again. But with the real mowing, and we saw it on the football pitches in Austria, everybody is using the real mowing and leave the grass there, and they have no problem to use also the coated form of nitrogen.
Bitan je način na koji kosite travu i zavisi od načina na koji kosite travu, uglavnom vam određuje koju vrstu gnojiva treba da koristite, odnosno granula.
So it's also important to mow before the application and leave maybe 2-3 days after the application without mowing until the granules are diluted. But also other operations are really great to do the operation and relay this with the application of the fertilizer.
Bitno je da 2-3 dana prije hranjenja podloge da se trava pokosi i da se ostavi ta 2-3 dana.
If this is about aerification, this is typical. You make a hole and afterwards you go fertilize.
Priprema je uglavnom da pravite rupe i da poslije toga gnojite.
The same is with the cutting, with the verticutting, with like grooming the grass. It's the same.
Vertikutiranje.
So when you do the same, afterwards you fertilize and nicely incorporate the fertilizer in it.
Isto tako i poslije vertikutiranja treba da nanosite gnojivo.
The same when you do the top dressing. This is typical job on football and golf courses. Also back home in the gardens is quite popular. When you apply the sand, you just apply the sand, maybe you brush it in and then you fertilize. So you don't brush the fertilizer inside.
Kod golf terena, kod fudbalskih terena, kad nanosite pijesak, onda poslije stavljate gnojiva, a ne radite sve zajedno.
And the end result should be even, nice grass without any stripes or missed place. It must be even. This is the target.
Znači, cilj ovog svega je da trava bude jednaka, bez znači ikakvih rupa i grešaka.
So even this type of grass, it could be produced. This is from the golf course near Istanbul.
Čak se i ovakva vrsta trave može napraviti, ovo je blizu Istanbula.
And this is what we want also in a home garden. Nice even grass. This is from one of our customers. He has a testing field next to his office, so he's fertilizing different grasses with the fertilizer, and so he can show it.
I u kućnom vrtu želimo da vidimo savršene rezultate. Ovo je jedan od naših klijenata koji pored svoje kuće isprobava različite vrste trava.
So this is the background of the Phoenix fertilizer. Explain why we are using different forms of slow release nitrogen, why we have like the fertilizer which is right suited for golf courses and football pitches and landscaping. And if you have any question, just ask me and then I will tell you the application, for example, in football.
Ukratko sam vam objasnio razloge zašto koristimo različite vrste granula, kako ih koristimo. Ako vas nešto interesuje, slobodno pitajte.
So do you have any questions, because I need to switch the...
Da li imate nekih pitanja?
So as you saw, the football is our passion, and we originally started with the fertilizer garden boom. Just for your information, we are working on the same concept, and just to explain you, we are talking about blended mixed fertilizers in both cases. So this is what we do, blending granules.
Mi smo u početku počeli sa Garden Boomom, uglavnom radimo sa... Sorry, can you...
No, it's blended mixed fertilizer in both cases.
U oba slučaja su ista gnojiva.
What is typical for our customers, they are taking Phoenix mostly in the whole pallets or in big volumes, and Garden Boom they are buying by single bags or couple bags.
Šta ih razlikuje je što se Phoenix kupuje u većim količinama, a Garden Boom po vrećama.
So I will explain you how we created a plan also for football, which could explain you more about like how we set up the fertilizer plan. What you see, we are in big control. The football players are really touching our grass, and they are really critical. So we need to deliver a really nice grass, smooth. When you have artificial grass, like we discussed, it's not so nice to hit it by head. Yeah.
Prvo bitno, znači, igrači dodiruju našu travu i bitno je da trava bude što gušća, nježnija, što bolja. I to je otprilike to.
So our passion is green grass. Also we try as much as we can to support the young people. I mean, you can see AgroCS team is growing, and again, when they are playing on nice grass, when you don't have any possibilities, then you can go on plastic because it's sustainable. It's not difficult to maintain, but we like to have a green grass if possible.
Naš cilj je zelena trava. Kao što vidite, mi podržavamo fudbal, ovo je naš tim koji još uvijek raste i trudimo se da igraju na prirodnoj travi, da ne idu na plastiku.
So this is from the event I told you before, but this is also like some of the applications we try to help. This is a football club in Austria. They have just new builded, this is like a third league from the bottom, where they just built a new football facility for 3 million euro.
Ovo je jedan od fudbalskih klubova u Austriji gdje smo napravili novu travu koja je u vrijednosti od 3 miliona, a klub je u trećoj ligi austrijskoj.
So this is what I want to say. They were really lucky because their previous football field was really interesting for developer to build houses.
Bili su jako sretni jer njihov prethodni teren je bio zanimljiv za investitore koji su htjeli da zgradi tu kuće.
So they earn really big money to sell it for houses and build a new facility on the other side of the city.
Tako da su mnogo zaradili na tome što su svoj prethodni teren prodali investitorima koji su gradili kuće, tako da su mogli da napravi ovako skup teren.
So they are amateurs, but still enjoying the football game, and they have one championship place, and they have one training facility on the other side.
Oni su amateri koji imaju mogućnost da uživaju u svom fudbalskom terenu. Ovo je fudbalski teren za takmičenja, imaju još jedan za treninge.
And this is for us the typical customer, groundsman, the person who takes care of the football, with like he is doing it for free in his free time. So this is not his full-time job, and he needs a support.
Ovo je jedan od naših klasičnih klijenata. Čovjek koji održava ovaj travnjak to radi besplatno i radi u svoje slobodno vrijeme, tako da mu treba potpuna podrška.
We try to simplify his job the way that he gets the right answers for his fertilizing plan through the season.
Tako mi pokušavamo da mu pomognemo tako da dobije najjednostavnije odgovore za održavanje ovog terena tokom sezone.
So this is his maintenance facility. The only tools he has is a mower and fertilizer spreader. That's it.
Jedine alate koje on ima su kosač, odnosno kosilca i aparat koji
the spreader for fertilizer. The applicator. Yeah.
Aplicira, raspršuje. Da.
Raspršuje,
ne?
Okay, so this is what he has. Everything else he hires the services for renovation, edification. This is what he takes from some other services outside.
Za sve ostalo on zapošljava druge servise, odnosno druge firme.
So for him, we just came with the idea that we will explain him easily how to maintain the course through the year with our fertilizers without to think about it through the season. So he has like a set-up plan for the whole season.
Njemu smo pojednostavili plan održavanja travnjaka za čitavu sezonu.
So he has all the nutrients that his grass will need through the season, so there is no deficiency.
Tako da on ima sve nutrijente koji smo potrebili tokom čitave sezone.
So even on site, we try to ask the groundsman, do you have the soil probe, soil analysis? Također
smo ga pitali da li ima analizu tla, odnosno podloge.
So we try to avoid the nutrients to be missing.
Jer htjeli smo da izbjegavamo nedostatak nekih nutrijenata.
We remind him again that the roots on his field are important, and together with the groundsman we go outside to the field and look in the ground how good are his roots. This is also important that he goes down to the knees and looks what is in the ground.
Također ga podsjećamo da su korijeni trave vrlo bitni i sa njim na terenu zajedno uzimamo primjerak njegove trave da vidimo kakav mu je korijen.
When you take already the sample, you look in the ground, you see how much of old grass, we call it thatch, it's like diluted old grass roots, how much of this organic stuff he has on the top.
Kada uzmemo primjerak vidimo koliko stare trave, odnosno starih korijena su ostali na vrhu primjerka.
It's really important also to combine the fertilizing plant together with the mechanical operations.
Također je bitno da se ukombinuju gnojiva sa procesom hranjenja te trave.
So again, what we spoke, NPK and other nutrients are important, and we try to explain to everybody on site how to fix and how to build the fertilizing plant.
Isto kao što smo malo pričali šta je bitno i kako izgraditi sve te nutrijente.
Through the season, we follow the same concept in any type of fertilizer. We know that the spring is the time of the fast growth. We try to heal and grow from the winter.
U biti koristimo iste načine hranjenja te trave. Uglavnom u proljeće kada je najbitnije, kada je najveća stopa rasta, odnosno kada trava najbolje raste i najbolje prima gnojiva.
So we are talking about the fertilizer with high nitrogen, 24, to really grow off the winter and heal.
Ova vrsta gnojiva ima jako veliku koncentraciju nitrogena, 24.
And I will tell you later that we use the spring fertilizer also in other parts of the season when we need to promote growth.
Ovo gnojivo koristimo također i u ostalim dijelovima sezone kada moramo da ubrzamo rast.
When you go to summer means the time that you need to have a growth, but also not so much, and also you look for some health.
Ovo gnojivo koristimo u ljeti kada već trava je izgrađena, kada ne trebamo znači rast nego zdravlje trave.
And when you go to autumn, this is the fertilizer with higher potassium, when we try to prepare the grass for wintering, for colder temperatures.
Ovo gnojivo koristimo u jesen kada pokušavamo da pripremamo travu za zimu, za niže temperature.
So with this basic concept, we developed, then I will explain like later, but this is the way what you saw before. We used in Garden Boom, we used the coated fertilizer, coated urea, like we spoke about Phoenix plants. So you have a urea coated in polymer and sulfur.
Ovo je znači ista granula koju smo spominjali u Phoenixu, ovo je polimer koji je obložen sulfurom.
The basic principle for garden, and this is not a football, but garden would be like 1, 2, 3 applications and you have nice garden. this is about the principle that you would do, but if you go to football, you see the big stress, big intensive use, then you need to add more fertilizer.
Kada su u pitanju obični vrtovi, znači koristimo 1, 2, 3 koraka, ali kada su u pitanju fudbalski tereni, onda je tu više stresa i više posla i treba više gnojiva.
So the principle is right, but for a football use, it's not enough, because you need to heal after every competition.
Princip je isti, ali nije dovoljno, zato što posle svake utakmice trava, fudbalski teren se mora održavati.
So this is our let's say example of the fertilizing plan for football, and what we do is we are going monthly applications. When you start with spring, just to grow up March, April, you will see how fast the winter is ending. Some years, even in some locations, you could have the first application in April because March is still too cold. So we go with the spring kick in the morning, in the spring.
Ovo je primjer kako počinjemo da hranimo travu gnojivima. Otprilike počinjemo u martu, nekad i u aprilu, zavisi koja je temperatura, ali proljeće je bitno za početak.
So then we have the summer to have some balance, but also in June when we have still the competitions running, we are applying a spring just to be ready for the competition.
Nekad i u ljeto znamo da koristimo proljetno gnojivo, čisto zato što ima puno utakmice, moramo da održavamo.
In the summer months we normally do just basic maintenance, but when is September coming, this is the moment I use again spring, because in September everybody is coming back to play again intensively on the pitch.
I u septembru, znači poslije ljetne pauze, također koristim proljetno gnojivo, čisto da ojačam travu za ponovno korištenje.
So this is our typical example also in Romania. We have customers in Romania, they apply spring usually before their fall type, where they will have nice green color in media, in the TV, on their football pitches in September.
Imamo i firme u Rumuniji koje koriste, tokom čitave godine koriste proljetno gnojivo.
And on the end, depends on how long is the autumn continuing, maybe you have 1 or 2 applications of the autumn fertilizer.
I zavisi koliko je potrebno, imate možda 1 ili 2 aplikacije jesenje gnojiva.
This chart is set for free, so even for your local distributor it will be available even for you, so you can prepare your fertilizing plan yourself. So even for you, the Excel file is free available, so you can put it in for the customer to play with. So you can have a fertilizing plan adjusted as you wish.
Ova tabela je dostupna za sve klijente i besplatna i može se da kažem napraviti po vašim željama kako vam odgovara.
Sometimes maybe you add some other fertilizers in it. This is up to you because all the time it's calculating how many of the N, P and K you apply per year. So this is calculated all the time on the end of the chart.
Sve pravite po vašim potrebama jer i ova tabela zavisi od toga koliko u stvari vi gnojiva koristite.
And also if you have the price list, how much the fertilizer cost, the last chart which I don't have here now, it's like the costs of your fertilizing plan per year.
I na kraju možete napraviti sebi koliko u stvari vaše gnojenje trave košta.
This is the case when you have no problem to use the coated polymer sulfur coated granulas, and on football is normally not a major problem. So this is the most popular system we use, for example, in Austria.
Ovo je slučaj koji možete koristiti kod većih granula ako nemate problem što vam se te granule vide, kao što koristimo u Austriji na terenu.
If you like to have everything disappeared, all the granulas diluted, you need to go to Phoenix Balanced, what I mentioned before, where you have the MU and all the granulas are dissolved with the water within 1 day.
Ali ako želite da apsolutno vam nestanu granule na vašem terenu, onda trebate da koristite Phoenix Balance, gdje u toku jednog dana kroz vodu jednostavno nestanu.
So, with the similar system, when you go Phoenix Balanced, you have slightly different nutrients, and you can combine it in similar system, and again to have the same result. So even this type of fertilizer is ready to be put in your fertilizer plant.
Sličan sistem je također i kod Phoenix Balance. Sve stavljate u svoju tabelu kako vam odgovara.
This is one thing what I would like to mention. There are also other things that you could use in your football or golf. We are using now, we call it Vital Turf. It's our product which we are using in the stress conditions. For example, you have football with tribuna on the side with shade, so there is no sunlight. You apply some other supporting materials.
Imamo još jedan dio koji mi zovemo vitalni travnjak, koji koristimo na travnjacima koji su pod puno stresa. Na primjer, ako imate tribinu koja spušta sjenku na dio travnjaka, na taj dio terena se mora više nanositi da bi travnjak ostao zdrav.
It's liquid which is made from the compost, like diluted from the compost, and it's helping the plants to grow better in bad conditions.
To je tečnost koja se proizvodi od komposta i namijenjena je da podstiče, znači, bolji rast i bolje održavanje biljke.
But you don't care only about the football, but you have also maybe a garden or landscape or other parts, and also in Garden Boom we have products for other use than only grass.
Nije striktna upotreba samo, znači, za travnjake, može se koristiti za druge biljke, za održavanje voćnjaka i cvjetnjaka.
There is one more technology, and you can see it in the Garden Boom, but it's called polyon. It's completely only polymer coated, and what we had before with sulfur, it was 3 months. With this you can reach maybe 8 months.
Još jedan način, znači, granuliranja je samo sa polimerom. U prethodnom slučaju smo imali sa sulforom, gdje je trajalo do 3 mjeseca, ovdje može trajati do 8 mjeseci.
So for these situations that maybe you take care of somebody's garden, or you have some part of the landscape where you don't want to come back again, it's not so intensively used, you can use the fertilizer once a year. For me as a greenkeeper it's not the best way, but you could apply maybe once a year or maybe with some added fertilizer application it's enough.
Za neke dijelove travnjaka koje ne trebate da održavate puno, možete koristiti gnojivo koje se koristi jednom godišnje ili eventualno dodati mu još neko drugo godišnje gnojivo.
So this is an example that in this case somebody applied 60 grams of once a year. It could be like a front of the house, some places they are not used so often, and you can apply this type of fertilizer, and it's releasing the nutrients, nitrogen, until the fall.
Ova vrsta gnojiva se može koristiti jednom godišnje. Neki ljudi koriste u dijelovima svojih vrtova gdje ne moraju puno, gdje nema puno stresa, zato što može tokom čitave godine da se otpušta nitrogen iz granula.
Also, let's say pre-seed, in all situations, even in Phoenix or Garden Boom, you have new grass, you seeded new lawn, you are looking for a starter fertilizer with higher phosphorus for root development and also enough nitrogen to grow the leaves. So we have fertilizer called pre-seed or starter, which is like for the first applications when you seed new grass.
I u Garden Boomu i u Phoenixu imamo određeno gnojivo koje se koristi prije uopšte stavljanja sjemena, gdje je bitno da to gnojivo ima jako visoku koncentraciju fosfora i nitrogena koji će u stvari posticati razvoj korijena da biste imali dobru podlogu za novu travu.
So this is what I was mentioning before. Once a year, it's the fertilizer which you could use once a year, but it's not really for intensively used grass. But this is what I mentioned.
Ovo je gnojivo koje sam vam malo prije spomenuo, koje se može koristiti jednom godišnje.
It's built for the situations that you don't want to care about the property anymore, or somebody taking care of somebody's garden and he knows that he will go only in the spring and not anymore, so he drops this.
Razvijeno je za vrtove za koje ne želite da se puno brinete i za koje nemate možda potrebe da se puno brinete. pa možete ga koristiti samo jednom godišnje.
When this is coming to football, maybe also like everything what is visible, we say you need to be really careful with the application, but we try to say do not cross the applications, because when you overlap and you like go one way and the other way and you have already double application here and you would turn here and again overlap, then you have a 4 times bigger application in the square shape and doesn't look nice.
Mi postičemo ravnomjerno nanošenje gnojiva, da se znači nanošenje ne preklapa, jer kada idete dijagonalno na jednom dijelu imate 4 puta jedno te isto gnojivo postavljeno i nema funkcije.
So especially on the football, when you have a nice square, you would have really like too high dosages. So try to practice and go the right way in the right distance, just one direction.
Također na fudbalskim terenima bitnije je da se ide znači ravnomjerno i da se uvijek ide u jednom smjeru.
So we also, as a part of this program, we have a grass seat, because you need to have a seat for different occasions. And I put a Latin name here because this is something that we need to like really find out like what grass is. But you are probably using the same grasses as we are using, because they are used generally in even in hot conditions. What I try to say is like we mixes with 3 major species, and I would keep this translation. This is a Latin name all the time on the top, but I don't know what is your right name in your language. But Lolium perenna is the grass which is mostly used on football pitches. Its English is a ryegrass, and this is based on the ability of this grass sort to be really fast growing, nice color, and so I will see if...
Ovdje sam stavio 3 glavne vrste sjemena koje mi koristimo. Stavio sam latinska imena, zato što ne znam kako ih vi zovete na vašem jeziku. The first one?
The first one is the one which is the mostly used on football and tees on golf courses, the places they are used a lot, because it's really fast growing and fast regenerating grass.
Prvi se najviše koristi na fudbalskim terenima zato što brzo raste i brzo se regeneriše.
Poa pratensis, it's really a grass for like a nice stable lawn with nice roots.
Ova druga se koristi za stabilne vrtove i bašte.
And Festuca rubra are the grasses there where we don't need so much mowing, we don't have so much watering and fertilizing, so it's more like ornamental.
Treće koristimo tamo gdje ne trebamo puno da ulažemo, da puno gnojimo. To je to.
So we created grass mix sport, which is really used for like heavily, intensively used grass that are people running or children running or football played. So this is the grass mixture sport which is a higher amount of these regenerating grasses.
Ovo je naš miks sjemena koji koristimo za terene koji su konstantno pod stresom, koja se mnogo koriste, tako da sadrži veću koncentraciju sjemena koje se samo regeneriše.
We put also the regeneration in it, which is like even higher amount when you try to fix something, then you have this. It's like even grass for like a bad spot.
Također ovo sjeme se može koristiti za loše dijelove gdje je samo potrebna regeneracija.
And then we had a park where you don't need to mow so much and you more look on the grass than you run on it.
Imamo mješavnu sjemena za parkove gdje nema potrebe da se puno kosi i više se trava gleda nego što se koristi. And
again I'm coming to the point where I'm saying it's not important on what level you play the football, if this is the first league or a fourth league, but all the time you need to have nice smooth grass, not mud or soil.
I ovo je ono što ponavljam, da nije bitno koja je liga fudbalska, da je bitno da je trava dobra i korisna, da nije blato.
And again I show you some of the operations that you probably know, but For us it's really important to bring the air in the ground. In many cases you can do as much as you can on the top. You can fertilize, you can overseed with the right seed, but when you not unlock the soil, there is not enough air, then you have the problem that I cannot solve with fertilizing or seeding.
Još jako bitno za nas da se, da kažem, ozrači trava, da bez obzira koliko nanosite gnojiva na travu i sve, ukoliko nema dovoljno zraka, neće imati dovoljno funkcije.
And also it's really important to use the sand. You know it from the golf, but also on a football. The right amounts of sand are important to keep the grass healthy, because you keep the air in between the leaves. So it's really important to combine it all the time with the mechanical operations, but also with the sand.
Jako je bitno i da se koristi pijesak na travnjacima, da se kombiniraju gnojiva i pijesak.
So then you have the happy players and everybody enjoys the game.
Onda imate sretni igrači i svi uživaju u igri.
Okay, so this was something that I try to tell you, and I will summarize it now just by word how you should approach it.
Sve ovo što sam vam rekao do sad pokušat ću da sumiram u nešto kako vi u stvari trebate da pristupate ovome svemu.
If you look on Phoenix, you look on big volume applications that somebody really knows what he or she want to apply, and you usually take it in bigger amounts. This is how was Phoenix targeted.
Phoenix je uglavnom nešto što ima veću vrijednost i što se uzima u većim količinama.
You can find in Phoenix also coated, but also MU nitrogen.
U Phoenixu možete naći taj obloženi nitrogen, a i MU nitrogen.
So this is like mostly used on the golf courses, where a typical 18-hole golf course uses 4 to 8 tons a year for their fairways.
Najviše se koristi na golf terenima gdje se koristi 18 tons?
Yeah, 4 to 8.
4 do 8 tona godišnje.
And it has a 20 kilo bags size.
I proizvodi se u vrećama od 20 kg.
If you look on a smaller application for garden, but also for football, you could stay with the garden boom.
Ako su vam bitnije, znači, manja područja, kao što su bašte ili ipak fudbalske terene, onda je za vas garden boom.
And fertilizers are based on coated type urea.
I gnojiva su uglavnom zasnovana na obloženim granulama nitrogena.
And the bags are 15 kilo.
I pakovano je u vreće od 15 kg.
And normally the customers are receiving like for the football, like the whole pallets, which is set up exactly according to the fertilizing plan. So you go and pick up the one layer, which is application in April, and next month I go to the next level.
I obično dobivate upakovano po levelima, znači kako po sezoni kako gnojite, tako da od početka kako uzimate vreće, tako su vam potrebne tokom čitave godine.
If you apply it in the garden or in the landscaping, you go to your distributor and you buy even a single bag or 3 bags. It's easier because you just are fitting exactly on your needs and the amount.
Također možete, znači, otići kod vašeg distributera, uzeti 1, 2, 3 vreće, apsolutno je nebitno jer se prilagođava vašim potrebama.
Yeah. So in this case I would really say it's more like a garden and football use, and this like you can adjust everything for this, and this is in bigger volumes, could be also used on a football and landscape, but it's mostly used in a golf course.
Kad sumiramo, Phoenix se koristi za golf terene, može se koristiti za fudbalski, ali više za golf terene, dok je garden boom više za privatne posjede i za fudbalske terene.
What I will leave here, it's really the tool for the fertilizing plan, which you can combine your own fertilizers in it and prepare your plan. You know how much it will cost.
Ovdje ću vam dati alat na kojim tabelu pomoću koje možete da napravite sebi plan koliko vama treba gnojiva i koliko će vas to koštati.
What I would recommend for you is like we need to find a way how you get the soil analysis results for you, so you know what is in your ground, and also you know that your soil is sandy or more with soils, so you will know how much you need to fertilize. What I showed you was like a model fertilizing plan.
Ja vam preporučujem da uradite analizu tla, tako da znate od čega vam se u stvari tlo sastoji, šta vam fali i kakva gnojiva treba da uzmete.
These fertilizing plans came from our best experience, but it could be varying in your case.
Ovaj plan gnojiva je razrađen od naših eksperta, a vama možda treba neka druga vrsta plana.
So this is from me like the main message saying like why and what we created, and maybe if you have any questions you can set the questions now.
Ovo je moja glavna poruka kad i kako i zašto smo ovo napravili. Ako imate nekih pitanja možete slobodno da pitate.
We will still be together here for lunch, so we can have some discussion afterwards. But if you are interested more in football or maintenance, I could show you some little comments that I have also for the maintenance itself, not related to fertilizer, if you don't mind. I don't know how tired you are.
Ako vas interesuje još nešto po pitanju fudbalskih terena, ja imam još neke prezentacije koje bih vam mogao pokazati, pa ako želite.
What you have in the bucket is something that I wanna give you to try. This is something we are working on, and this is like microgranula, single granula fertilizer, which we will produce. Maybe we have this available right now as a testing level, but we are working on the unit that we could offer this type of fertilizers in the future. That will be not blend, but will be everything in one granula, even in a smaller granulation. So we have right now only this combination. I will not confuse your head with this, but it's just for your use.
U kutijama imate primjerke nečega na čemu trenutno radimo, što još uvijek nemamo u prodaji, ali je dostupno za testiranje. To su znači mikrogranule koje nisu kao što je Phoenix, ni kao Garden Boom, čisto da probate.
If you like to have more of these, we can of course provide you this. If you open it and you see the size, it's used for fine grasses, and it should be immediately dissolved, and it's using the MU technology inside.
Kada otvorite vidjet ćete da su manje granule i da su u stvari namijenjene za finije trave i da se odmah razgradi. Ako želite više, možemo vam omogućiti veću količinu ovog.
So this fertilizer could be used also on golf greens because it's immediately dissolved.
Ova vrsta gnojiva se može koristiti i na golf terenima zato što se odmah...
With the Phoenix Garden Boom we try to be on the level which will be also not so expensive. This is more complicated technology, but for final use like a golf green, it's better to have granules like this.
Ovo je skuplja verzija, ali je i bolja verzija za opcije kao što su golf terene.
So we have this already available, but in the future we will have more combinations.
Ovo već imamo dostupno, ali u budućnosti ćemo imati druge kombinacije.
What I try to show you now is something which is developed in Czech Republic, and me as a grass grower, I like to show you that the way how you mow your grass.
Sad ću vam pokazati nešto što je razvijeno u Češkoj Republici, način kako da kosite svoju travu.
We are intensively working with people. They take care of home gardens, not only professional field, because it's really important to have a nice, when you already spend some time with your own lawn, to have really good results.
Ne radimo samo sa profesionalnim terenima, nego i sa privatnim posjedima, odnosno travnjacima, ako želite da imate privatno lijep travnjak.
So this is the mower which is developed and built in Czech Republic, and we were part of the development. So this is for your information. It's mostly for like a ornamental lawn in a house or around companies and similar use.
Ovo je kosilca koja je čisto za manju upotrebu, odnosno za privatne travnjake. I sad ću vam pokazati kako funkcioniše.
I will try to push it forward so you don't need to see how He's unboxing it, but
Pokušat ću da pomirim da ne morate gledati kako otvara paket.
what is important to say is if you see this is the way that you mow maybe your football or your golf. It's real mowing. It's not rotary, and I think this is the best way, and it's historically the oldest way how the golf courses and grass was mowed, because it doesn't require so much power. All the stuff you know from the rotary, and I will show you later in the presentation, it's not really nice to the grass, and also it's not good for the end result and environment. So like a real mowing, cutting like scissors, it's the best way how to mow.
Najbolji način za košenje je u stvari pravo košenje na stari način kada se trava sječe kao makazama, a ne ide rotaciono.
So what he is doing is adjusting the cut to be really sharp and have a nice scissor cut.
On se trenutno prilagođava da sječenje u stvari bude jako oštro i prilagođava visinu.
What is important, and I see it also in a professional use, people are mowing the grass with dull or not sharp mowers.
I što često primijetim da ljudi kose travu sa tupim alatima.
For the best results, if you want to have a nice color on a football or golf course, it's necessary to have a real mower, but more and more home users are finding the same answer, to use the real, not the rotary.
Najbolji način kako da vaš travnjak bude zeleni i zdrav je da koristite prave kosilce i sve više i više privatnih posjeda ljudi kose sa profesionalnim kosilcama.
What you normally need to do is like also do some regeneration work. This is not the one. If you see what he put there, you just remove the mowing reel and you can like verticut or clean your grass. So you can do other jobs with the same machine.
Vidite kako on može da skloni oštrice i da radi više poslova sa jednom kosilcom.
So it's typical way how grass home lawn is mowed in Great Britain, in United Kingdom, but it's also popular now more and more in whole Europe.
Ovo je tipični način kako se u Velikoj Britaniji kosi trava, ali je sve popularniji i popularniji u ostatku Evrope.
It's something what I want to share with you, that when you already use smart fertilizer, you should use the smart way of mowing the grass.
Ovo je nešto što želim da podijelim sa vama, već kad koristite pametna gnojiva, trebali biste pametno i da kosite svoju travu.
When you already spent some money or value not to use agriculture fertilizer but professional fertilizer for lawn, then it's necessary to also have nicely mowed and ready lawn if you wish.
Kad ste već toliko uložili u izgradnju vaših travnjaka, trebali biste koristiti i profesionalne kosilce.
Yeah. So this is just information for you that this is something that we are putting together, the fertilizer, the right seed, but also the right way how to mow it.
Ovo je nešto što sada, na čemu trenutno radimo, da napravimo dobra gnojiva, dobra sjemena i ispravan način košenja.
It takes usually some time to communication. Yeah, that's good. So I will just tell you something more, because I am involved in an association which is called the Institute of Groundsmanship, which is hard to translate, but it's an institute for people they take care of football pitches.
Ovo želim da vam pokažem zato što sam dio instituta u kojem su članovi ljudi koji se brinu u stvari o tim travnjacima.
My task or my role is like really to put people together and to learn them teach them how to get the things right, and not only in golf area where I'm involved in greenkeeping, but also in football.
Moj posao je da napravim tim ljudi i da ih obučim kako da u stvari održavaju kako golf terene, tako i fudbalske terene.
It doesn't matter if this is golf or football or some other type of grass, but the knowledge and the up-to-date information about technologies are important.
Nije bitno koja je vrsta trave i koja je vrsta travnjaka, bitno je da ste uvijek u skladu s vremenom sa novim tehnologijama.
So if you go to the back of the grass growing and grass mowing, you can see the mower they are using. This is all the time the same. Until now, the principle of real mowing stays.
Kad gledate još od historije, i princip košenja trave još uvijek ostaje isti.
You can see that this is really not needed too much power. The reels, the part of the mower which is turning, it's turning from the wheels. It doesn't need to be so much power like other type of mowing.
Ova vrsta košenja ne treba mnogo energije zato što kotači sami sebe pokreću.
So if we are talking about the way how the grass could be mowed, today we have many options, but basically the major two options are rotary mower, which is like an axe, or reel mower, which is like a scissor.
Ovdje vidimo dvije različite vrste kosača, kosilica koja se rotira i sada kosilica koja funkcioniše kao makaze.
If you go to the hairdresser, you don't want to have him to cut your hair with the scissor, with the axe. You better use the scissor.
I kada odete frizeru, ne želite da vas frizer šiša sjekirom, nego makazama.
So we could wish to have tools like this, to have the proper maintenance. Hand-used machines, they are really careful, you don't drive too heavy vehicles on it, and they are real mowing, they are really gentle to the grass.
Mašine koje se ručno koriste su nježnije prema travi i bolje za travu.
So in all cases, this is absolutely the best way how your grass should be mowed.
I kad sve sagledamo, ovo je najbolji način kako se vaša trava treba kositi.
If you are lazy to walk, you can find a solution that you can sit together with your hand machine.
Ako vam je mrsko hodati, onda ima način kako možete imati ovakvu vrstu pokretne kosilice.
But you still keep the nice way of cutting with scissors.
A i dalje da košenje bude kao makazama.
If you want to maintain the grass quickly with wider machines, you can use this type of mower which is self-driving and has 3 mowing units.
Ako želite da košenje završite brže, možete koristiti kosilicu koja funkcioniše na ovaj način, ima 3 razdvojena kosača.
And still, this is really popular way how to mow big fields. We are still mowing on the golf courses, and some of the training pitches of football are mowed with this type of reels because they are the most effective, really fast, and they are not too expensive for fuel. So we are still using this on the golf courses, on training places, for example.
Na većini golf terena još uvijek koristimo ovu vrstu kosilice jer je najefikasnija i dobro kosi.
You can have also this type of machine, which is really sophisticated. Is used for nurseries where you produce the grass for a rollers.
Ovakva vrsta kosilica se koristi na poljanama gdje se u stvari proizvodi valjana trava. Ovo je sofisticiranija verzija kosilice.
It's for the big fields still quite effective and clean cut.
Jako je efektivna za veće travnjake.
So the principles of real mowing, as I said, they are close like scissors, but what we try to avoid is like really hard contact between the blades. When they are cutting, they must be smooth, not really like hard tied together.
Ovaj princip košenja je, kao što sam rekao, kao makazama, ali što pokušavamo da izbjegavamo je da se sječiva ne dodiruju puno.
When you have a chance, go to real mowing all the time you can, because you will achieve the best results.
ako imate mogućnost, koriste ovu vrstu košenja jer ćete dobiti najbolje rezultate.
With the rotaries, you are starting to lose some of the quality, but still there are many options.
I sa kosilicama koje funkcionišu na rotaciju dobit ćete rezultate, ali ćete oštetiti vaše travnjake.
It could have like a one deck with mowing, which is not copying the terrain, which is just like three knives together in one row.
Can you...
Yes, like this was one, or you can have three separated decks.
Ili možete imati tri različita sjekača na jednom rotacionom kosilici.
Usually, like one row of mowing, it's used there where you don't expect, you don't have too high expectations. You just go and collect the grass. Maybe in some time of the year when there are no competitions and you need to mow it quickly.
Ovo je kosilica koja se koristi kada trebate brzo da pokosite travu, kada nemate vremena, na primjer kad je sezona.
You can also have like beyond the tractor rotaries, and as you know, they are quite simple knife, you know, maybe from your home lawn.
Ili ovakva vrsta kosilice koja koristi jedan nož koji se okreće.
But if you look in detail on a grass tip, you can see on the left side it's rotary, or it's maybe not sharp reel mowing. This is the place where your diseases are entering the plant. This is the thing that you should not allow, like to have a dull cut.
Kada sječiva nisu dovoljno oštra ili kada se pogrešno kosi, onda je vrh trave oštećen i to je savršeno mjesto za bolesti da napadnu vaš travnjak.
On the right side you see like a smooth cut, really fast healing. It's still a wound, but it's closed fast so the diseases cannot enter it.
Na desnoj strani vidite ispravno sječenje gdje biljka lakše zarasta i jako je teško bolestima da pristupi.
So this is something that you try to avoid. It's not looking nice from the distance, but also it's bad for the grass as a plant.
Ovo je nešto što pokušavate da izbjegavate, ne samo da ružno izgleda, nego je i loše za biljku.
I will just this is also the way that you look on a service of the mower, but you should really look on the professional way how to fix your problems.
Možete i ovako servisirati vaše kosilice, ali trebali biste više nekog profesionalnog zaposliti.
One of the things you need to keep it sharp, you don't need to grind it like really like with a grinder, but it's just like you use your paste. It's like a brush, and it's like it's moving, and it's sharpening each other like a blade and the knife from each other. If you understand.
Za oštrenje možete koristiti vrstu četke koja svaki sjekač zasebno oštri.
So you let the bottom knife and the reel together to be sharp again with the backlapping. So you turn the reels not mowing, but it's just like rotating and brushing each other to make it sharp.
Bitno je da, znači dok se okreće da sve jedan sjekač bude isto naoštren.
So it's typical way how to keep your blades sharp. It's like every time that you feel they are not sharp enough, you just brush the blades together so you are sharp again with the cutting. Ovo
je tipični način održavanja vaše kosilice. Da svaki put kada posumnjate da nije dovoljno oštra, da je naoštrite.
So many machines, they are bigger, they have even like a knob to switch the other direction, not mowing, but sharpening direction.
Mnoge mašine imaju u stvari način da se zamijeni rotacija, tako da ne kosi, nego se samo oštri.
If you have really in bad shape your reels, then you really need to use professional grinding. This is important to have at least once a year. Some of people do it more often, like professional grinding machine.
Trebalo bi se i bar jednom godišnje koristiti profesionalno oštrenje vaših kosilica.
So you have it like exactly as a cylinder, so there is not problems mechanically, and you have again sharp cut.
Tako da nemate mehaničkih problema i da opet imate dobar rez.
And the bottom knife, one of the knives from the scissor, has the right angles.
I da donji nož ima ispravne uglove.
So you have really clean cut and you don't shred or squeeze the grass in between.
Da ne uništavate i ne gnječite travu.
So this is something you cannot create with the right angles. You cannot create it with the brushing or backlapping. You need to put it to the factory again to resharpen.
To je nešto što ne možete postići četkom ni sami, nego morate profesionalno u fabrici ili...
Some of the people, they are using some small tools just to renew the sharpness by hand. So there is like little hand brush in between the cutting to keep it nice.
Postoje različite vrste oštrenja gdje možete sami između košenja da oštrite. I don't know if you do the same on the golf course. There are also hand tools. They are like renewing. It's not really sharpening, but it's like renewing the blades. Postoji i alati za ručno oštrenje, što u stvari ne oštri, nego ih samo blago obnavlja.
Also with the rotary mowing, you need to be careful because if you do it bad, your blades are dangerous because they are starting to vibrate, because they are maybe brushed here more and not on the other side, so you need to be careful with the rotaries.
I sa ovim načinom morate biti mnogo pažljivi da sve bude jednako, jer ukoliko je negdje više oštro, negdje manje, oštrice počnu vibrirati.
Do you have your own grinder on the golf course that you can grind the machine, or how do you do it?
Imate svoje vlastite oštrače.
And are you grinding for other football places? Because this is typical on a golf course. You have a grinder, and every football is coming in to sharpen.
Ili radite za nekog drugog ili samo za sebe?
Jenom pro sebe, ja? Okay. So when we are like clear with mowing, we have machines. They could carry the other tools, but normally on one football place you don't have enough money to do it. So this is the thing you wish to have tools like this to carry the stuff around, but normally there is maybe not budget on a football.
Imamo i ovakvu vrstu vozila koja nose ostale alate za održavanje travnjaka, što bi većina ljudi koji se bave time žele da imaju na svojim terenima, ali nemaju dovoljno novca.
What is really important is to weigh how to spray on the football. Some of the smaller clubs, they are hiring as outside service that somebody is coming in and sprays. But it's good to have some chance to spray on site for fungicide or fungicide or herbicide.
Jako je bitno način na koji se šprica taj fungicid ili herbicid. Mnogi klubovi zapošljavaju nekog izvana zato što nemaju te mašine, ali jako je bitno da je stalno da se stalno šprica.
This is really typical for a golf course, one of the most advanced and expensive machines. It's not really typical for...
Ovo je tipično za golf terene jer je ovo jedna od skupljih mašina, nije baš tipična za fudbalske terene.
This is maybe more suitable for football because you have some normal tractor and you have the sprayer on it.
Ovo je možda tipičnije za fudbalske terene jer obični traktor na koji se stavi nastavak za špricanje.
Usually you are looking for the way how to use the vehicle you have there and just to connect the sprayer.
Obično se traži način kako da već vozilo koje posjedujete možete povezati sa novim raspršivačem.
And also you can have a hand driven machine for spraying.
Također možete imati i mašine kojima ručno upravljate za raspršivanje.
It's also important because many people are using other than only fertilizers in granulated form, but they are also using some elements like the Vitality turf I showed. You need to apply liquid and the sprayer is the only way.
I ovo je jako bitno zato što postoje ljudi koji ne koriste samo granulirana gnojiva, nego kao što sam već spomenuo
you can apply not only pesticide but also like supporting things like Vital turf or some other products.
I ostale produkte koji služe kao potpora osim gnojiva.
So this is the way how you can also mix, not mix it inside, but you have a special mixing tank for the applications.
I ovo je jedan od načina koji možete pomiješati gnojiva koja koristite.
You can have a mechanically open and closed type sprayers, which are relatively cheap.
Možete imati mehaničke, da kažem, određivače koji su relativno jeftini.
But you can have also computer-driven sprayers. They are quite common.
A možete imati kompjuterizovane raspršivače koji su jako česti.
This is one of the key elements. 100-year-old history says even fertilizing is not as important as top dressing, to put the sand in between the grass.
Čak ni gnojivo nije toliko bitno koliko je bitan taj zadnji sloj pijeska koji se stavlja na travu.
So this is one of the operations which was invented already 200 years ago, and we still look at this as a key operation on turf.
Ovo je jedan od načina koji je izumljen možda i prije 200 godina i dan danas ga još uvijek koristimo.
So even on these are all type of top dressers. It could be just dropping down the sand, or it could be like similar with fertilizer application.
Čak i na ovim vrstama mašina može biti, znači da samo da spušta pijesak, a može biti da ga raspršuje.
We have also possibility to have a heavy dosage of material. Top dressing, when you construct new pitch, you need to apply a lot. So this is the way that could be also like heavy applications.
Ovo je za težu vrstu nanošenja kada je potreban veći sloj.
And this is typically used for football. You don't have a loader, or you don't need to put it with the shovel, but you have a top dresser that has a special hydraulic movement. So you back up in the pile, lift it, and you go top dress to football.
Ovo je tipičan način za fudbalske terene gdje mašina ide unazad, kupi pijesak i tako ga raspršuje.
So you don't need to have a separated loader to fill it, or people with shovel, but it's loading itself.
Tako da vam ne treba odvojena mašina koja će vam puniti tanker ili ljudi koji će vam lopatama nanositi.
The aerification, it's something that you know, because to bring air in the ground is really the key element of today turf maintenance.
Jel mogu reći kao zračenje?
Prozračivanje.
Prozračivanje trave je također jedan od bitnijih faktora za uzgajanje zdravog travnjaka.
About 50% of the soil should be pores, like a space, and half of this should be filled with air.
50% podloge bi trebalo da bude u porama koje bi trebalo da budu prozračne.
Also, when you aerify, you create channel where fertilizer, after diluted in water, it's going straight to the roots.
Također, kada prozračite tlo, pravite pore u koje će gnojivo sa vodom zajedno da uđe.
There are many ways how to aerate. You can also like aerate with this type of discs, at least to make the slits in the ground to open it for water and air.
Postoji mnogo načina prozračivanja, možete i ovako sa diskovima gdje pravite posjekotine kroz koje može da uđe voda i zrak.
So no matter how you do it, but you try at least to lose the ground to be softer, not really compacted.
Kako god da to radite, trudite se da tlo bude mekše, da ne bude baš čvrsto.
There are different ways how to unlock the soil, but one of the most popular is using different type of tines, like let's say something which is like a bar type hit at the ground.
Nije samo bitno, znači na koji način to radite, nego i koje alatke koristite, koje veličine su, da kažem, sječiva.
You can have a solid tine, means like a piece of metal which is just simply making the hole in the ground, or you can pull out the plugs and take something away.
Možete imati, znači, običnu vrstu sječiva koja samo pravi rupe, ili sa neku kao vrstu cijevi koja će izvlačiti tu zemlju koju pricnete.
The main reason why we do it is like if you see on the top And especially on football, but also on many golf courses, there is too much organic left here, and there is no air and compacted soil down, and we try to open it.
Glavni razlog zašto to radimo je zato što ima previše organske nakupine na površini i do dna ne dolazi, znači do podloge ne dolazi dovoljna količina nutrijenata.
So in the loose ground, the roots are developing better. The organic matter here it's diluting, and as I said before, this is the right time when the fertilizer is coming in. It's really hitting the roots. If you put it here, you are not succeeding, but here you go straight to the soil environment.
Na prozračenim podlogama nutrijenti brže dolaze, znači do korijena i trava brže raste. Što nije slučaj sa travom koja nije prozračena.
So this is the other type of verification with the solid tine. You don't pull any plugs out, but at least you make a hole down and maybe you unlock the soil.
Ovo su klasični prozračivači koji samo prave rupe, ne izvlače znači zemlju iz tla, nego samo ubadaju.
So the movement in the ground is like really like a kick, and so you don't have only a hole in the ground, but you have more unlocked soil for your roots.
Ovdje vidite način gdje se pravi kao u dubine, ne samo znači kao rupice, nego veći prostor za gnojiva.
So this is like how the machine looks like, and it's going quite deep, and it's like one of the key machines for football pitches in the whole world. Just go deep enough and kick.
Ovo je primjer tih mašina koji idu jako duboko i koji prave taj kik i koje se koriste na većini fudbalskih terena širom svijeta.
There are also other types that you can maybe like blow air in the ground. For example, it's other type of aerification.
Postoji i drugi način gdje možete da kažem ubrizgavate zrak u tlo.
Or you can like blow water, like shoot water with high pressure in the ground, which makes a hole and lose the ground.
Ili možete da ubrizgavate vodu pod visokim pritiskom u tlo.
Also, some of the football pitches are doing like a deep drill, which means like the tine is like drilling like a bore machine. It's going really deep to take away the moisture from the surface.
Na nekim fudbalskim terenima se buši kao bušilcom i da bi se izvukla vlaga iz podloge.
So the other operation which is important is scarifying. It's removing the old material with the knives.
Još jedan bitan proces u održavanju trave je otklanjanje ostataka iz travnjaka.
The biggest issue we have when we have the fertilizing plant which use high dosage of nitrogen, and we need it because the intensive use of the field, you have produced a lot of green material, and this green material start to decompose, and it's creating the layer which is blocking the air to the roots. So we try to remove this organic layer.
Jedan od problema je kada koristimo veću količinu nitrogena da stvaramo ostatak koji se složi na zemlji i koji blokira dostupnost nutrijenata dalje.
So together with our high dosages of nitrogen, we need to also do like some work to remove the excessive amounts of organic matter.
Zato trebamo da radimo na tome da se skidaju ti slojevi koji blokiraju.
So you saw it with the small, like when the gentleman was doing it in his garden, but it's the same principle. You have knives that are going relatively deep and taking out the organic material.
Kao što smo vidjeli da imaju te ručne mašine, tako isto imamo i velike mašine koje idu dublje i otklanjaju višak.
And again, it could be followed nicely with application of fertilizer.
I isto tako može biti popraćeno aplikacijom gnojiva.
And when you pull something out, maybe when you make aerification and you pull out something from the ground, or you do scarification, again there is some material, you need to collect it. So there are different type of collectors.
Zato postoje različite vrste kolektora, jer kada radite aerifikaciju ili malo prije spomenuto sklanjanje viška, uvijek ostane ostatak za koji postoje mašine koje posebno kupe sa tla.
When you do the top dressing, it's really great to have a white brush, so you brush in the sand, in the canopy, in the grass. So you top dress and then you use the brush.
Kad radite zadnji sloj, odnosno pijesak, uvijek je bitno da imate široke četke koje će, da kažem, ravnomjerno rasporediti taj pijesak.
Would be a mistake when you fertilize before you brush, because then you move the fertilizer around, so you do all your mechanical part and then you come with the fertilizer.
Bilo bi greška da stavite prvo gnojiva pa onda da četkate.
So also overseeding, seeding in the grass, new seeds, is important.
Dosjemenjavanje je također bitno, znači stavljanje novog sjemena u već postojeće travnjake.
If you see the tribunes, they are causing a shade, the players are damaging the grass, so all the time you try to create a bank of seed in the ground ready to heal the stress.
Kao što vidite, tribine ili igrači uvijek oštećuju travu, tako da pokušavate cijelo vrijeme da stvarate određenu vrstu zalihe u travi koja uporno potporava, odnosno pravi novi sloj trave.
This is one of the best overseeders because it's using a two-disc system which is sliding in the existing grass, and in between the seed is coming in.
Ovo je jedna od boljih mašina koja služi dva sječiva između kojih sjemenke ulaze dublje u travu.
It's much more effective than just to drop it on the top.
Mnogo ima bolji utjecaj nego da se samo stavi sjemenje na površinu.
But of course there are different systems even with simple spikes and then the seed.
Također imaju različite sisteme kao što su obične bodlje.
Important is also excessive water. This is the machine which is for draining the wet surfaces used for the sports fields. Could be even tighter.
Bitna je drenaža određenih površina da bi površine bile još čvršće.
This is really important for other reason. When you have too much water and no air, the grass is not growing, but also too much water means that your fertilizer is not going with the water in. It just stays on the top. So you try to have nicely drained surface that the water is going in.
Bitno vam je da nemate previše vode, jer kad imate previše vode nemate dovoljno zraka, a i također gnojiva ostanu na površini.
So all the type of surface draining is really important for sports fields. They are like football and they have some slopes, but still they tend to be too wet because they are too straight.
Tako da i kod svih sportskih terena bitna površinska drenaža.
And could be also used in a smaller size, depends on your local possibilities.
Može se i u manjim veličinama raditi, zavisi od vaših mogućnosti.
Really important part is the machine you saw on the video when we did the football pitch in Prague. The top maker is just taking away too much grass on the top, but you don't want to go too deep, you don't want to destroy the bottom, so you have the top maker to remove the organic matter on all the pitches.
Imate i ovu vrstu mašina kao što ste vidjeli na videu sa terena koji sam vam pokazivao, koje skidaju gornji dio starih nakupina, da kažem, trave.
So you have problem with one grass which is wheat, which is not good grass, and it's called Poa annua, and this is typical. This is shallow rooting grass, so you can phrase it away, so you remove basically all the poa and you then overseed the field, but you don't have this bad grass there.
Imate mogućnost sa starim, slabim travama koje imaju malo korijenje da iskinete da biste mogli napraviti novu travu, odnosno novi travnjak.
So this is also some other type of machines. The stripes you see are important. They could be done by mowing, but in this case this is made by brush. If you like to have a nice stripes, some of the footballers are using just the brush to have nice shape.
Linije na terenima su jako bitne, mogu se postići i kosilcom, ali ova je postignuta četkama.
And you can play with the brush like this. If you have nice green sward, nice green grass, you can play with the brushes and prepare some nice picture.
Ako imate jako dobru zelenu i kvalitetnu travu, možete se igrati sa vašim šarama i napraviti ovakvu neku sliku.
You can also build a football on the slope, and on the first look it was looking like a joke, but they probably even use it for some type of a game.
Ako imate želju, možete napraviti ovako teren na izbrdici. Prvo izgleda kao šala, ali možda i koriste za nešto.
So also you can simplify your mowing. Maybe you saw this picture, but it's the way that you can use all drills just to have a fun.
Možete i pojednostaviti svoje košenje na ovako neki način.
So one thing that it's not joke and it's really serious. If you look in Germany, when the labor is going to be expensive, I mean the employees are earning more and more, it's better for the football not to hire a mowing guy but have a robotic mower.
Ovo nije šala. U Njemačkoj kada održavanje postaje skuplje i skuplje, ne moraju zapošljavati novu radnu snagu, nego ove automatske robote koji kose.
It's a trend really popular in home gardens, but it's in football. Right now in Germany is 150 football pitches mowed with robotic mowers.
Ovo je prvenstveno bilo popularno kod privatnih travnjaka, ali je sve popularnije i popularnije u Njemačkoj. Oko 150 fudbalskih terena koriste ove robote za košenje.
Is it easy because they are not noisy? They are usually electrically driven, and the only disadvantage I see is like you don't make nice stripes because they have pattern all over, but they don't do nice stripes.
Ovo je jednostavan način zato što koristi električnu energiju, znači nije skupo. Jedina mana mu je što ne pravi linije, nego, kako da kažem, ide redom.
Chaos.
Sjeće, da.
Yeah, so this is probably even the future in some like a lower type footballs that they are just nicely mowed for training reasons, and you do stripes with people and nice mowers only on competition pitches.
Ovo može biti za terene koji se koriste za treninge, a da se veće kosilce koriste za terene na kojima se igraju utakmice i gdje su bitne linije.
So this is a comment which this was the presentation which was based on machines, but I try to put on the front that it's really important that this is coming together with the fertilizer, with the ground which is compacted, not aerified. It doesn't make sense to spend so much money on good fertilizer when you don't do the other part, so you need to combine it.
Ovo je bitno zato što se treba kombinirati zajedno sa gnojivima, jer gnojiva nemaju funkcije ako trava, odnosno tlo nije pripremljeno.
So from my side, this is now the picture. I see the grass maintenance. If you have any questions, we can do it during the lunch. And I would wish that you see the fertilizer there on the back table, because this is the Phoenix fertilizer there in bag, so you can touch it, you can see it.
Ako imate nekih pitanja, možemo da porazgovaramo tokom ručka, a volio bi da pogledate primjerke gnojiva koji se nalaze na ulazu, da vidite kako izgledaju i kakvi su.
So if you have any questions, you can set it now or later now during the lunch.
Ako imate nekih pitanja, možete postaviti sad ili poslije tokom ručka.
So thank you for your attention. Yeah.
Hvala vam